the kind of quarterback that has been trying for about the last 5 seasons to get that ring, you know, and he's always come up short, usually due to some kind of a failing on his part. But he is getting more mature, and they have an all-season that's, you know, second to none in terms of getting together and keeping solidarity on their team. The Giants seem to fall apart between seasons. I don't know what happened. Too much of a business, I guess, with the New York Giants.
Yeah, well, but that hasn't been the case with the Giants this year. Those who are comparing this Giant team to any team of the past, you can't compare them. Tom Coughlin's got 2 Super Bowls. He's one of the best coaches out there.
Environment, if you do not use the hydrocarbon product intelligently or to the full extent the technology would permit you to clean them. But, you know, again, people have the same prejudice against nuclear energy, which is, you know, the ultimate energy. Probably will be running nuclear batteries in our cars before we run out of oil and natural gas.
True.
And so there's no reason that, sure, there's airplanes crash, but we don't stop flying airplanes. We make them safer. We figure out ways to make them more efficient.
We ground them during inclement weather now.
Right, and it's the same intelligence that has to be used with hydrocarbon fuels. What I'm saying is that they're natural, that they're abiotic, produced by the earth, that they're not inherently or intrinsically evil or detrimental, that we should be able to figure out ways to utilize natural resources, including hydrocarbon fuels, intelligently, and for the general advancement of both the environment and the economy.
You just heard Dog live. Dog. Steve, your reactions?
That was intense. That was really intense. I was always just sitting back, tripping on the whole thing, and just going through phases on it. And I got a hard job over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always like to look at your reactions because you look like you're like in deep meditation.
Very deep, very deep.
So while these guys get situated around a microphone, we can talk more about our visceral reaction to that. How many times you've seen Dog before? I know you have. I know you and I have gone to see them
before.
live.
One time, no, I've seen both of you actually. One time or another. And one of your aliases, anyway.
Yeah, because I know you guys have been around forever. So let's see if this mic works. Steve?
Is it working?
Steve Davis is here.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's
cool.
working. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear yourself, but we'll we've got headphones here,
that's okay.
but that's okay. Anyway, but so Steve, who's next to you?
Edward.
Hey.
Hi, Eddie. Welcome to the show.
All right.
So I kind of had you guys split a little left and right. I had Eddie on one side and Steve kind of a little bit on the other. But so what did you guys? What was the intention of your performance tonight? What was behind it? What was the thought? What were you trying to express?
I don't know. Just kind of kicking out the jams. Pretty much.
So a little MC5
yeah,
Midwest.
We were inspired by all the outdoor traffic going on here.
Yeah.
Look at that. There's some noise right
Isn't that
now.
great?
Whoosh.
Put the mics out there and don't bring any of this stuff.
It's live in the city.
Live
Okay.
noise.
Field recordings.
So, are you guys harsh noise or noise
I don't
or
know.
what do you describe it as? I mean, you guys have been doing this forever.
I think we do everything, right? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's harsh, sometimes it's not.
I think you guys have ridden through like about 5 or 6 waves of noise trends since you guys have been. I know you've been
It's
doing
like
this.
different. It's like different breeds of dogs. Like you've got little pedigree dogs, and you got like big old, schnauzers or Rockwilders. We just, wolves. So it's just like the whole gamut of
Licking themselves.
of dogs. It's a perfect, summary of what we do.
But that's the contrast. I mean, I hear. If you were to just happen in on like the Handbag Factory or Human Resources, whatever, when you guys are playing, first of all, you'd have your eardrums blasted because you guys like to play at a pretty loud volume, and you'd probably think, oh, these are a couple of really hard dudes, or however many people you have with you on stage. I've actually played, and I've had the privilege to play along with you, and I'm very honored. But you guys are joking and laughing. I mean, you guys are like some of the funniest guys I know.
I don't know.
How do you explain that? Huh?
It's our upbringing. You had to have a sense of humor.
Otherwise,
I guess maybe having an outlet is the reason I'm sort of chill, but you can ask Jan, I'm not always so chill,
Okay, well.
I get bent out of shape pretty easily by stuff.
Really?
Mostly sports.
Oh, yeah, well, okay, so wait a minute, you're from Boston.
Yeah, but I've lived out here for a while. So
Okay. So you're not a Dodgers fan then?
Well, I like the Dodgers, mostly the Red Sox, and Eddie likes, the Mets. It's all good.
Really?
But as far as the noise, I mean, gosh, I don't like to think of any one genre of noise or type of noise. We'll do harsh stuff sometimes, and some of our CDs have like drum machines on them and stuff, and we've played with drum machines and singing, whatever. It's a little bit of everything, I guess, right? I don't know, it's good to mix it up.
I remember once you played, Eddie, I think it was solo. Your other project was the Destroy Date, right?
Yeah, there's a few of them now, but yeah, Destroy Date.
I remember my friend, he saw you once. He was at Il Corral about 5 years ago. My friend just turned to me and he goes, it's, what's that guy's name? He said you reminded him of Monty Kazaza.
Oh, okay.
That kind of stuff. Like early industrial, like kind of where anything goes. Like it's not one thing.
The big secret is the gear. I never upgrade. I've got the same gear for years. I recently just bought this radio at a drugstore for like $10.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's it. That's the big upgrade of my of the year. You know, so
Now-
I don't spend much on gear, maybe batteries. That's it.
That was you guys missed the theater of that. Like it was very performance art watching you play that radio,
With a
and
Thurman.
a lot of the things you heard, I guess you were pulling live from the AM radio or something, right?
Yeah.
That you heard
Oh,
tonight.
so
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about what you were doing exactly with the radio. I mean, were you actually from the airwaves or just some?
That was manipulating some of the static that comes out of a radio through the theremin, and then I would actually tune in to a broadcast. I had sports radio going on, guys talking about the Giants, New York Giants coming up, football season. And then we went to Coast to Coast AM, George Norrie, and we had some guy talking about ethanol and using oil and the economy and all that. So just a crazy juxtaposition of how, like, what's called legitimate, radio is just basically a platform for marketing anything, whatever it is, and commentary, like self-stylized opinionators, like it's really amazing. What's really funny about this country is like, and this is like, maybe you'll agree, Steve, is that you'll get guys that call in to talk radio programs like sports radio, and they will know everything about like the Red Sox and absolutely nothing about local government. Nothing. Right? And it's amazing that people are really, and if it was just the other way, just a little bit, it would be a really interesting trend. But I wish people had that sort of diehard ambition, enthusiasm to go out and find out what's going on in their own hometown. Like, I live in Pasadena now, and my wife is finally getting involved with local government.
Really?
Yeah, that's like you can go and then check out like what's going on, and I think a lot of that is sort of the activist idea is to sort of work with government as opposed to like trying to like fight them all the time, because you can actually get further if you just ask them. Like I remember Kill Radio actually when it was up the street, on Vermont.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they really had to pass. I think they had to like at least ask for permission of some sort through the local councilman. I think it was Eric Garcetti at that point.
Okay.
And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. And Eric Garcetti was actually a really good dude. He was totally into like his district being cool, and I really liked that about like, just getting involved on like the right tip. Instead of like, it's gonna, we're late for the riot. We got to go now and like start throwing petrol bombs at the police cars. But that doesn't really work
That
too
does
much.
not work. It does not work.
No.
If you've ever
It's fun,
been on
but
the
then,
business end of a policeman's fist,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
it's,
like it's always fun till someone gets hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the station's about, to get that out in the airwaves, because I've been that's my experience with it, and it's like I can't see any end result to it as long as I've been demonstrating, especially when it does get out of hand and people get hurt. It's just needless.
Like artwork. Artwork got out of hand. Or didn't
You got that right. I was right in the middle of that
I
one.
guess it was a riot. I guess.
That was about. It was perpetuated. It was like.
At the artwork last month.
yeah.
There was some kind of mayhem, I think, downtown.
there's some
I think
people
you were
painting on the
protesting
street.
against all the art.
It was so terrible. I don't know.
Yeah, right. It's like bad art.
No, I don't know. I wasn't there. It was probably really great.
Only our friends'
Well,
art.
I noticed your shirt. I think you've mentioned before that your wife works downtown.
Oh, Skid Row Housing Trust.
Yeah, interesting. It's
Right on.
interesting because we were talking about all this stuff in the first hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys were listening. And Urban Voodoo, that was
Yeah,
a really good thing. I like how we have this contrast. We have like a spoken word artist, and then we'll have like some noise
And
performance.
like the LAFD, like putting in their,
I mean, it's
2
perfect
cents.
cue. It's like
Isn't
right
that
on
crazy?
cue, like right on cue. Here come the sirens, right?
It always works that way with you guys, because I was gonna say, not to change the subject, but like earlier, I was thinking about how like a lot of it, what you guys do is an element of random. Like you were turning the dial on the radio, and things just dropped in on things. You didn't plan any of that stuff. What about your pedals and all that stuff? It's not like everything's planned.
Nah,
You just
I mean,
go
kinda
for
wing
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, pretty much, plan for each other and whatnot. I
So-
think
But we know what knob does what. It's
Yeah.
not that random. you
Yeah,
know.
but I mean, sometimes it just like a couple of these things are kind of self-generating sounds. I mean, you can set it to a point, and then after that, it's kind of like I think it just feeds off of itself.
Yeah, it plays
just
itself.
like a loop. Yeah.
Okay, so
But I mean,
So I had a-
obviously we know like I
I'm
set
sorry.
these specific things up because we know the sounds that they're gonna make approximately. You know, definitely.
First of all, excuse me for interrupting. That was, I'm a New Yorker. What can I say? I got to work on that. No, but the question was, is there, like, do you have a pattern, or is like improvisational? Is that the word? You just go with the thought and just run with it?
Pretty much. I mean, sometimes we'll talk about, how we want to start. I mean, Eddie and I played together for such a long time that it's almost just like we just don't even have to say anything, it just kind of flows pretty well, I mean, that's one of the things about this band. I mean, sometimes there's two of us, sometimes there's like 5 of us, and, I think as time goes by, I like the bigger ones less, the big groups of people less. I prefer, I like it when it's just like 2 or 3 people, 4 people, because I don't know. I mean, with 8 people, it looks probably nice or whatever, lots of people running around, and it just becomes, I could just bring nothing, be easier. I think when it's just like Eddie and me playing, I mean, I think it's just, I don't know, we just seem to have a good connection. Or whatever
yeah,
you wanna
I
call it.
love the way you guys interact.
I think
It's like
we're
an intuitive thing or something. It looks
I
like.
think we've just done it for such a long time, and
I would love to see a noise band of 8 people in this studio.
In this studio, wow. It'd be tight. It'd be a tight.
Now
tight
that you
fit.
mention it.
We what Steve, I ask you this every time, but you're kind of still new to the noise thing, and you always mention like, oh, I'm really warming up to this noise stuff, and it's like, what do you think like when you hear this? What
honestly,
Maybe
what I
I'm
do,
not warming up to it anymore, huh?
what I see now, there's maybe that went over my head.
I'm just saying, I'm just kind of making that joke.
you're just
Oh, I could deal with it. No, what I actually see is there is a distinct style in each person that comes in.
yeah, because we've had a lot of great
A
artists.
lot of people come in, whereas I didn't see that before. And in the beginning, like at the Il Corral, I had not a hard time with it, but like, all right. It just seemed like be going in the same direction. But sitting here, you see there's a distinct style. It's kind of like, well, it's not the singer, it's not the song, it's the singer, that kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, definitely, because we've had we had Endometrium Kunplau in here. We had Pulsating Cyst recently. We had just so many great artists in like the 8 months we've been doing this show. We've been fortunate, and we're really honored that you guys could make it in here too.
Oh, no, it's great. Thanks. And Actuary, didn't they play here before?
Actuary did not play in here.
Oh, maybe Dustin's been up here
but
before.
Dustin was in here. Actually, he played with Christy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pretty Agony
Oh,
played in
okay.
here.
Yeah, I mean, he
It's
mentioned that he
it's
was up
noise pop.
Yeah, they're more-
basically,
It's a pop.
It's
definitely
pop, but
element,
with noise, like really, like it's just a great combination. And I've been trying to get Actuary in here, but
I don't think they would fit.
that's the issue.
I mean, realistically, if you think about it, like if you take any sort of like electronic gear and just increase the volume of anything, even like rain, you'll get a noise sort of threshold. There's a threshold of pain. There's a threshold of decibels. So the technical aspect is basically we use sort of volume and we control it.
Yeah.
The idea that the gear is designed mostly to create sounds of some sort, electronic sounds, and we just sort of increase that until it becomes a sort of a field, that we like to work in. We're sort of like working that sort of field of sort of like our own natural sound, like ultimately everything we're doing can be traced back to a sort of organic thing, which is just basically electricity, So there's nothing too way out about it. It's actually still quite organic. It'll go no good.
No, I was gonna say, like, if you listen to like these recordings of the universe and sounds of space, it sounds like this kind of stuff.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
it's
true.
like organic as it gets, right? I mean, it's like the sound of
Right.
stuff out there.
The ironic thing is that classical music is actually very artificial. because it's so constructed and it comes from instruments that are, once again, have been built and designed to create certain frequencies, sounds, timbres, and all that. So it's actually the most unnatural thing you can possibly listen to is classical music or music from instruments, because it's basically the invention of the instrument. You know, it needs to be desired that that's the sounds that they wanted to be created. But if you sort of like destroy it, if you throw that whole system out, then basically now you're dealing back with like sort of, you know, natural sounds and distorted sounds, which are quite common in everyday life. You know, we sort of like just sort of blot them out. You know, we just sort of like, you know, just sort of filter them out a lot. You know, but I think that a lot of the chatter of just the street patter, you know, the sort of rhythms of the traffic, are just very intriguing. You know.
You know, it's true, and you know, even like, you know, just like sitting here, like, you know, the sound of the cars, and you know, you hear the wind, and I mean all that stuff. You know, I mean, if you shut your eyes, you know, if it's pouring rain and a howling storm, you know, you shut your eyes, and you know, it could be anything making that sound. It could be one of these things, you know, roughly replicating those kind of sounds. I mean, totally. Eddie nailed it. I mean, you know, you get this classical music, and everyone's like, oh, it's the original, organic music. But yeah, it's just like you've made these instruments, and it's like these very extremely precise stuff, you know, that has to be played, you know, pretty much. There's very little improvisation there, you know.
Yeah, it almost sounds like an alien form of communication is classical music. I mean, it's beautiful aesthetically, you know, and I leave that open to be argued. But the thing is that if you listen to what we do, it's akin to what's going on, I think, in a universal sense, because the universe doesn't sound like Bach. Although people have tried to sell that idea that Bach is sort of like the music of harmony and the cosmos, but honestly, it really isn't at all.
I think Dimitri Kemplau is the music of the cosmos.
Wow, that's a good statement.
That's a good statement.
So speaking of that, so let's talk about your label, Love Earth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what how long have you been doing that?
Probably about 10, well, maybe 9 years or 10 years or something. But recently, last few years has been a little busier, you know, with stuff.
You guys have a ton of releases. You just handed me some stuff.
Well, the Richard Ramirez I just got those the other day. So it's the Swimming Hole. It's,
maybe we should play it a little bit from this for a minute,
great.
and we'll
Came
come
out
back.
awesome. It's awesome.
Should we just start with the first track, or?
Yeah, I mean, the last one's pretty long. I forget how long they are. There are fairly long songs.
There's 4 tracks on
yeah,
here.
I think they're all like
the Swimming Hole.
10, 15 minutes or something like that. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and start at the beginning, and then we'll come back and talk some more. How's that sound?
Sure.